We welcome you to Nigerian Fans Forum, wherever you are joining us from around the world. My name is Ashalolu Afemi. And of course, to begin the show, I'd like to commiserate with Manchester United fans in Africa. It wasn't so easy for them yesterday. Of course, Ali Allen did them another Jude Bellingham show at Old Trafford. Unfortunately, Kyle Ogundare is not here today. I would have loved to, of course, to hear his response. Of course, AC Milan too, it wasn't so sweet for them yesterday as well. Losing a 2-goal lead against Napoli at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. But James Agberibi said it was a sweet one for Arsenal over the weekend. 5-0, Eddie Nketiah with a hat-trick. And Eddie Nketiah is in the news regarding best footballing stories on Africa on the show today. James, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Femi. I hope you've recovered from United this small performance.
No, I now support Man City. I support Man City now. Of course, our producer too has been smiling from ear to ear because he's also an Arsenal fan. Okay, James, let's get started. Of course, where is down to talk about the African Football League? Of course, the semi-final pairing, you saw Wydad 1-0 over Esperance in the first leg, very slender win. Then also Mamelodi Sundowns 1-0 over Al Ahly, very slender win as well. Not enough insurance for them in the second leg. But what is dominating discussion, James, is the violence we saw from Wydad fans. Wydad themselves, I'm sure you've seen that their post, I think on Facebook or social media before that game. You saw how they welcome Esperance to the stadium. And it's in publicity for that game with someone holding what looked like a baton with thorns weaved around it. That is extraordinary violence, and it's something that we've condemned, that we've talked about on the show, that CAF needs to do something. Aside that, we saw Wydad fans attacking a bus loaded with fans of Esperance, James. In the 21st century, CAF is watching this going on, and nothing has been done. I dare say that you can't do this in Europe, not even in South America, because you will face serious sanctions. But here in Africa, is something that we've seen happen over and over again. I quickly quote something before I allow you to talk, James. A journalist, one BBC journalist, Osas Obayuena, said an official of Esperance told him something. He said, I can't understand that 1 or 2 miles away from the airport, there were no policemen in Casablanca. They broke a window and threw a flare inside the bus to oblige them, that is the fans, to open the door and get out. 6 passports and some personal belongings have been stolen. Not just fans were victims. One official too, and his kids, he called them cowards. They put in a very difficult situation with our fans that made effort to come to, of course, Morocco. How can we avoid retaliation? We didn't need this. Now that has even set the tone for the second leg, James. It is going to be violence against violence, like we say here in local parlance in Nigeria. But for how long is CAF going to tolerate these North Africans perpetrating violence? When is CAF going to deal with football ultras, football fanaticism, extremism in Africa?
Femi, that's the CAF for you. It just shows that we have a toothless body running our football. But this is not the first time, and definitely this is not going to be last. The surprising thing is, this is just a new competition. This is the way they are marking the maiden edition of the African Football League. Which means they didn't even care whether it's just a tournament that just, I don't know, some people just came together to put it together, and all of a sudden they something else. It's like, one thing about these people is whether giving a cup of maybe a teacup is the price, they will fight over it. They are ready to burn down anything. That's how bad their rivalry is compared to the rivalry between Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon. You don't see fans going all out to enjoy anybody, but these people, they can go to the extreme, and it's very, very sad. I remember I stopped taking CAF serious when Morocco didn't go for was it the African Nations Championship? If you can remember,
because of the political issue with Algeria,
and they pulled out, and remember, nothing happened. As if nothing happened, like no sanction, nothing. Nigeria didn't go for the 96 AFCON, and remember, we had to miss out in the 1998 edition. But Morocco, nothing happened. So we just go to show you that CAF is just a toothless body. They don't have what it takes to call teams to order, and until they begin to sanction teams, begin to come hard on teams, Femi, we are going to continue to see all these things. It's not going away anytime soon, I'm telling you. You know, I think this happened in maybe one of these small countries that are not that strong in terms of football. I believe CAF will have, want to show their strength, but these are two superpowers. These teams come from two superpowers in terms of African football, and then I don't know, maybe that's why they find it always difficult. I mean, this is not a major tournament. It is maiden edition, and we are look at the kind of things we are seeing. So okay. It's not the thing is, violence is not a monopoly of anybody. Anybody can carry out violence, but I think it's so rampant, it's so common with the North Africans. They're ready to do anything, ready to enjoy anything, just to win. And because they've not been sanctioned, they don't come under sanction. That's why they keep doing all these things. So until CAF sit down and take the right steps, Femi, we are going to continue.
James, I can't even recollect how many times we've come on this show to talk about great things happening in African football. It's always been, trying to talk about or bringing the negative aspect of the game in Africa to light and what could be done about it. Now, James, I'll quickly put two questions in one for you. Now, this competition has FIFA's hand written all over it, because I remember FIFA President Gianni Infantino was in the opening game of this competition. It is worth $4 million. Saudi Arabia also pulled money into this competition. Now, James, is it that we can't just take care of ourselves and our affairs? Because one, I do not really think that if FIFA hadn't had a hand in this competition, I'm not sure it will have been successful. That is one. Two, now, a lot of people it's a conversation I've seen on social media. A lot of people have said that if CAF, that perhaps it is time for CAF to relocate their headquarters from North Africa, because it is in Cairo, from North Africa. Maybe at that time, CAF will be able to, maybe the veil on the face of CAF about the friendliness, so to say, towards these North African countries will be removed. Remember 2004 Africa Cup of Nations, I think held by Tunisia. You saw what happened almost all through the competition. Everybody knew that, even in the officiating, favored Tunisia because they were the host. Now, what do you think about these two questions? One, this competition has FIFA's hand written all over it. Is it because we cannot even take care of ourselves? That is why we see things like this happening, that CAF has failed to, over and over again, failed to take action. Two, do you think that CAF should also even consider perhaps relocating his headquarters from Morocco, like some people have said, that maybe at that point CAF will begin to take very serious measures against these South African teams?
So I mean, the first what you asked for the first one about what is it called?
FIFA having a hand written on,
right. Whether FIFA has a hand, whether UEFA has a hand, whether CONMEBOL, as long as you have these teams, this is the same thing is going to happen. The most important thing is sanction. When you don't sanction teams, I mean, I don't know, you keep getting away with Blue Mother, and that's what they've been doing for God knows how long. I remember the 2004 AFCON that you made mention of, when Nigeria played against Tunisia in the semi-final. They deliberately distorted the national anthem of Nigeria, that they have to say the national anthem before the second half started. So these guys can go to any length to perpetrate this. But the funny part is they only do it within Africa. But when it comes to maybe other teams involved, you hardly see them do all these things. They just feel, because they know that they're going to get away with it in Africa. And CAF have continued to show that they are not the body to be trusted when it comes to coming that hard on teams who go against the rules and regulation. For whether the headquarters should be taken away from
maybe because they are misbehaving, because CAF's headquarters is in North Africa.
I mean, this thing is, you cannot rule out when it comes to things like this. Politics play a part in it. It's not going to be easy. It's not something that they just sit down and say, we are taking this thing away from. It's not going to be easy. They're going to be serious issues. You can even cause opposition and
division.
Vision in CAF. So I mean, I don't have a problem that is in what is it called, in Cairo. The most important thing is they don't it does I don't know. It's so to me, I think taking it away from Cairo, it doesn't stop anything. These people will still continue to do what they are doing. Like I said, if you don't sanction teams, you don't put your foot down, penalties are not placed on teams who head. I mean, Femi, we'll still come back here and say the same thing. So changing the headquarters of CAF doesn't change anything.
Okay. This is the maiden edition of the African Football League, and I do not know if by next season Saudi Arabia or every other corporate bodies who have put money into this competition who want to put money into it again, because like we heard from that Esperance official whose name was not revealed by Osasu or by Yona, he said, how can we not revenge? Meaning that it has set the tone for the second leg in Tunisia, and that is very, very sad for African football. CAF, please do something about this. If North Africans, if West Africans, I meant to say, Central Africans, Southern African teams do not do this, then you should not condone North Africans from this. Even if you have the headquarters anywhere on the continent, you should not condone such. James, I think maybe a stadium ban, because we wouldn't even expect the clubs to punish their fans themselves. Maybe a stadium ban, or maybe an outright expulsion from the competition would be maybe a very strong message to all the teams.
Exactly. I think I like the second option you give, expulsion. You know, these teams, I don't know, maybe because of the amount of money involved. You said $4 million. That's not a chicken change. That's a big amount. So they are ready to do anything to get their hands on that money.
But we've also seen them do this in the CAF Champions League, even in the Confederations Cup. We've seen them behave this manner.
Any like I told you, Femi, any competition, they will do it, whether there's huge incentive involved or not. It's just in their nature to just go wild. You know, they just have this. It's sad saying this, but it's just the truth. We've seen it always. Remember when Enyimba won the CAF Champions League in Ismail in Egypt, 2003? We all remember all what they went through, all what the fans went through. You know, they know how to give out these things. They know how to met out all these things, but they don't know how to take it back. They don't know how to receive, but they know how to give out. Because they've been getting away with it, they'll continue to do it. So as long as the rest of the continent keep quiet, it's not as if other countries cannot do all these things. But I mean, by the time everybody start doing this thing, the whole place
it does not reflect sportsmanship in any way.
So for me, let's just see what comes out of it. Like you said, It has set bad tone for the second leg, and only God knows what's going to happen. Because I trust the opposition. They're going to even go the extra mile to do more than.
Okay. Of course, I remember last season the CAF Champions when I saw a fan of Esperance with a chainsaw in the stadium, a chainsaw trying to break down barriers that were put together by police. That is how extreme it has gone in African football. And what has CAF done? Nothing. Okay, James, let's go to Ghana now, because I don't want to say the chicken is coming home to roast. I do not want to use that term at all, but it is like the GFA have given Chris Hughton an ultimatum, and the ultimatum means the next two World Cup qualifiers against Madagascar and Comoros. If you do not win that, it is going to be too late to save your job. It was explicit in the statement that was released over the weekend by the Secretary General of the GFA in the person of Henry Asante Tuam. And I quickly read. He said, so what that means, he was talking about the dismal performance in the friendly against Mexico and the US. He said, so what that means is that immediately there is need for everyone to wake up, because we cannot afford to go into the November games and back and give another excuse, which is very dangerous, because if you are playing Madagascar at home and Comoros away, these are two crucial matches, and your next match will be in March next year. So if you come back with another excuse, perhaps it might be too little, too late. It was explicit, James. This is what you've been talking about. The GFA, you won't blame them. They are torn apart between giving Chris Hughton as much time as he needs, to build a team that he wants, then handling the pressure from fans, from Ghanaians, from ex-footballers, from stakeholders. it's difficult for them. But would you blame them for giving Chris Hughton this ultimatum? You wouldn't. Nobody in the world will convince me that Madagascar and Comoros should be threat to the Black Stars, no matter how badly the Black Stars are playing.
Yeah, as it is now, the thing is, you won't blame the GFA because expectations are high. The board now, they just won the election, and a lot of things will be expected from them. For me, the thing about the Black Stars is the team is not. It's still like in the rebuilding process. Going to the World Cup, I think it kind of just marks some of the cracks in the team. They did very poorly at the AFCON. They managed to defeat Nigeria in the World Cup qualifier playoffs. They got to the World Cup. They didn't get out of the group. But yeah, so they were just glimpses. So it's like it's in a rebuilding process, and the AFCON qualifiers they had to wait to the last day, So, and now the friendly game against USA and Mexico just exposed the team that this team is not it. So it's a gradual thing, and just putting pressure on Chris Hughton, we just escalate the whole thing. What they should understand is this team is a building, it's rebuilding. It is in a rebuilding process. A lot of new players are coming in, and the good thing is they are going to play against teams that they should be able to beat. I mean, if they cannot beat, if at the end of the day they don't beat these two teams, though it's going to be a bit difficult, especially when you travel outside of your country to play in other grounds in Africa. You know how difficult it can be, no matter how small that country is. I mean, because you're playing against a team that you don't even know anything about them, their players, you don't know the kind of stadium, the kind of facilities you're going to play in. So those things do count too. And so for me, Chris Hughton he was never the popular choice to some of the officials. Most of the fans, they don't really like him. If an official can come out and tell you point blank in the radio program that voice out his displeasure about the coach, I mean, how much more? So for me, I think they should just take things easy and put the friendly games behind them. The most important thing is the friendly game has exposed the team that there's still a lot of work to be done. But it's not about just coming out throwing about ultimatum, and I mean they should allow them focus for the World Cup qualifier, because they must get that World Cup qualifier running. They must hit the ground running. But that's the most important thing, because other difficult games to come up. Try and get this two out of the. And I believe that they can do it. The most important thing is allow the team, allow the coaching crew, allow every other person to focus on the task ahead.
Okay, for me, I even think it is better for Chris Hughton that all this picture is coming together right now before the 2026 World Cup qualifiers and before the 2023 AFCON, because as much as he will want now, he has sufficient time to make the necessary changes in the Black Stars. Like the GFA said in that statement, no excuses will be entertained. James, still staying in Ghana before we go elsewhere. Now, let's talk about Nketiah. Like I said in the intro that he is in the news. The Black Stars, I think the GFA, they're still looking towards his direction. Though Nketiah's body language seems as if he's not interested in playing for the Black Stars at all. And now the former communication director of the GFA, I'm talking about Ibrahim Sani Dara, said that Nketiah is the natural successor for Asamoah Gyan. But this guy is not even interested at all in playing for the Black Stars. Remember, Kayode has said things like this. It is a sign of a malfunctioning system, because you do not even need to run after players who were born outside of the country to play for the Black Stars. But I think the GFA are still interested in persuading Nketiah to switch his nationality, because as it is now, there is no guarantee that it's going to be even the number 3 striker for the Three Lions. And I know Arsenal fans too. Some Arsenal fans do not really fancy Nketiah as their number 9. James, I'm sure you know what I mean.
For me, I think they are getting desperate now about this Nketiah stuff. For me, the thing is, his body language has already give him away. I don't think he doesn't have the interest to play for the Black Stars. He still has his eyes on the Three Lions. Fine, he got called up in the last international break. He played just one game, and when he got to the competitive one against Italy, he was dropped from the squad. So which means he has a lot of things to still prove. He has not proven anything. Even at Arsenal, too, most Arsenal fans, they are not really, the jury is still out when it comes to Nketiah and the number 9 striking position for Arsenal. So, I mean, it's not that, I'm not taking anything away from him, but I think there are still a lot of better players in the Black Stars who I believe have what it takes to do well. It's just about giving the opportunity. All this thing about running after.
Sorry, James, let's even name them. You have Harry Kane, you have Callum Wilson, you have Ivan Toney. Once Ivan Toney returns from his ban, certainly he's going to get ahead of Nketiah in the pecking order. So
that's why I'm saying that even it even make it more difficult, because if we have somebody like Naki Williams who is still trying to find it standing in the team, he's still struggling as it is. Not talk of somebody like Nketiah who plays in a very conducive environment, but he still comes under heavy criticism. Now crossing over to come and play in Africa where the environment can be so tough. So I don't think he has that toughness in him to withstand it. I can't even withstand the pressure that all the criticism that he will get, because I mean playing for the Black Stars is no mean feat. All the top guys, the Asamoah Gyan, the Sule Muntaris, the Michael Essien,
the Andrea
Anthony Yeboah, all those guys, they come under heavy criticism. How much more an average player, I can put it like that. I no apologies to that. And for me, Nketiah is not one of the top most strikers in the Premier League. It just happened that he plays for a team like Arsenal who just given the opportunity. He's not a world-class striker, you know. So I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a good player, but he's not that. You cannot put him in the same league as Asamoah Gyan. I mean, there's no basis for comparison there. So
James, you have to be careful, because Nketiah is watching this show.
No, I said they should allow him to just be, and if he comes out and say he's willing to play, just like the way Lamptey and Inaki Williams did, showed that interest, but he has never shown any interest, you know. So I think they should just let him be. If in future he decide to, but they should make him, if he has a change of mind, they should make him work for it, not something because they rejected you. You now think you can just stroll into the team and pick up the number 9 shirt and start playing. So they should make it easy for him. If at the end of the day he changes his mind.
Okay, all right. James, let's go to Nigeria now, because, of course, the Super Falcons are preparing for the second leg of the 2024 Olympics qualifier against Ethiopia. The first leg ended last week 1-0. Still no news whether Thomas, around the wardrobe, I almost said Thomas Zenebi, around the wardrobe is going to be on the touchline with the girls. So tomorrow is going to be at the MKO Abiola National. I thought that facility isn't in good position. I do not understand why the NFF decide, or even why the CAF or even FIFA will allow that game to be played in Abuja, because that facility, the surface, the top surface is not in good condition. But anyways, the girls will be playing there tomorrow for the second leg. Even at least a goalless draw will see them through to the next stage. James, let's talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League, because over the weekend we saw something that was very, very disturbing. The optics again, very, very terrible. We saw a UEFA Champions League football being used in an elite league competition in Nigeria. It was between, I think it was between, I don't know, I think it was between Bendel Insurance and one other team. James, a Champions League football ball being used in an NPFL, a league that has an organizing body. James, I have never seen this in my life. Even if you can't brand the body, the ball, why not just use even a plain ball? Why use a Champions League football in a league game? James, that created an uproar over the weekend. And of course, I also like you to talk about Nwankwo Kanu, because he has sent a warning to Finidi George and his team that if they do not begin to churn in the result, they will all be flushed out. Okay, first of all, James, let's talk about the MPFL. The poor branding of the league. This is a league that is still looking for sponsorship, and you could bring in a Champions League football to be used in that kind of competition. James, what do you say about that?
Well, Femi, what have you not said about the Nigerian Football League? I won't even call it Nigerian Professional Football League, but there's nothing professional about it. I mean, these are some of the little things that we've been talking about. We cannot take care of. I don't know. You see, when you keep using people who don't have what it takes to run football, who don't have anything to offer, these are the kind of things you'll be seeing. A Champions League football. With me, they don't take all these things into consideration. They don't really look into all these little details. They all feel Actually just a football. They just, I mean, all these things they count. That's why you keep complaining that there are no sponsors that are not willing to come. But when they keep saying things like this, who want to invest in such thing? The league so far so good, but until we try to take care of all these little details. I mean, these things matter. They feel it's just something that is insignificant. It's not. It's very, very significant, very, very important. You have to do the right thing at the right time, and so I don't know if they're going to just allow this to just go like that, which I believe, because they will do our things here. It's good that it trended. At least let the organizing body know that people are watching the league. People are seeing all these little things.
Exactly.
When they say they are supporting foreign leagues, the foreign league, not as if they are perfect, but they make sure that the little details, the most important things are put in place. But when we just do things, and just like what Kyle said, the anyhowness in us, it keeps coming out, and we don't want to even do anything about it. It's very, very important that we look into all these little details. Then coming to the Enyimba issue, I mean, that's what every administrator will always do. Find a lot of people will say, he's threatening his former senior colleague in the
national team.
This is a different ball game. As it is now, Kanu is Finidi's boss, and Finidi takes orders from him. So you just have to abide by it. The team has not been doing well. Look at the way they lamely left the African Football League. So they've not been doing well. So it's the right of the administrators to, if they believe that they've done enough for the team, they've provided what the team needs. If they've done their own part and still
exactly, James, you hit the nail right on the head there, because it was one part of what they said in the stadium. They said they have done everything that they're supposed to do for the team, including ensuring that the team is comfortable financially, and in every other way they're supposed to bring support to the table.
Yes, because anybody is a big team. Former 2 times Champions League winner, multiple league winner. They just won the league last season, and they are not really doing well. Look at the way, like I said, look at the way they left the newly created competition without scoring a goal. I mean, so I think Finidi, the jury is still out. He still has a lot to prove, because he's part of the coaching crew in Super Eagles, and a lot of people have been touting him as somebody that can, do something. But with what is happening in Enyimba, I think people start to have a rethink that is this person that's going to come over on board and do something for the Super Eagles. So I mean, let's see whether what the Enyimba board, what they've told the players and the coaching crew, if it is sinking, because I mean, everybody wants results. It's not enough to just say we will do this, we will do that. If the result, if nothing is coming out from it, I mean, the board will be forced to take action.
Okay. James, in 1 minute, let's talk about Thomas Partey. Is it now a liability to Arsenal? Because, of course, Mikel Arteta has revealed that it will be out for another 2 weeks with an injury, an hamstring injury, exactly. Do you think the Black Stars can even count on Thomas Partey going into the 2026 World Cup qualifier, as well as the 2023 AFCON, because of the recurrent injury that has been happening over and over and over again?
It's going to be difficult now, because for a player who keeps getting injured, I mean, the coach will have to start having a rethink, start thinking of how to build his team away from that kind of player. And I think that's part of the reason why Arsenal decided to go for Declan Rice, who has been doing very, very well. Partey has shown that he's a very talented player. One of the reasons why Arsenal went far in the league last season. But, when injury keeps occurring, I mean, the coaching crew have to start having a rethink. So I think as it is now, they start thinking of how to offload him, because what's the essence of having one of your key players who are the please? No matter how talented you are, if injury keeps coming on, I mean, the coaches and the club will be forced to at least get a replacement. So, I mean, it's so unfortunate, but that's part of the game. Injury is part of the game, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
So the Black Stars cannot count on him now, right?
They just have to start. It's not all about Partey. They have to start thinking of how to get good replacements, because what's the essence of having a world-class player who is not always there to help the team? They always sideline with injury, so it's not anybody's fault. So that's just it.
Okay, James Agberebi, thank you so much for your incisive analysis on the show today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi.
I guess Kyle knew what I was going to say, so he dodged the bullet ahead of time because of what Man City did to United yesterday at Old Trafford on on a day they were supposed to honor the memory of Sir Bobby Charlton. So this is where we'll be drawing the curtain on today's episode of Nigeria's Five and Sorrow. Please don't forget, we've told you, please go to Sports Africa, our new YouTube channel. That is where we'll be uploading our full content in a short while. Please go to Sports Africa, sports without the S, and then Africa with a K, not without C, not with the C. Sport Africa, Africa with a K, not the C. Sport Africa on YouTube. Please go. That is where we'll be uploading our content in a very, very, very short while. And of course, the build up to the 2026 World Cup qualifiers and 2023 AFCON next year, we'll be giving you all the content that you've not seen before. That is where we'll be posting those content. So please, if you're in the diaspora or you're in Africa, please go there and subscribe. Click on the notification button so that you can get the videos as soon as they drop. Thank you so much for sticking with Nigeria's Five and Sorrow all this while. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. We appreciate you so much. I remain Ashalolu FM. We'll see you all on Friday with another interesting footballing stories in Africa. Bye for now.